morning. Welcome to Moynihan Train Hall. I'm here not to get an Amtrak train to North Carolina or to Toronto, but rather to get that train to Huntington to go explore New York's long-lost abandoned trolleys. So here's some history, and I'll see you get on board the train.
The history of the abandoned trolleys we're seeing today starts in 1890, when the Huntington Railroad began operations as a horsecar line from Huntington Station north to Halesite. Horse cars had started service on Long Island with a line near Babylon a few years prior, and this new line saw their expansion to the north shore of the island. In March of 1898, the Huntington Railroad was bought out by the LIRR and electrified later that year. By this time, the benefits of trolleys were clear, so when in October of 1899 the village of Northport, a few miles west of Huntington, lost passenger rail service, trolleys were the clear answer. Similar to Huntington, this line was owned by the LIRR and linked the village center of Northport with East Northport Station, opening in April of 1902. That same year, construction finished on the Nassau County Railway, a streetcar line in, you guessed it, Nassau County. Opening in July of 1902, it ran from Sea Cliff LIRR station through the village of Sea Cliff to the top of the eponymous cliff, where a funicular brought passengers down to the Victorian resorts on the shore of Hempstead Harbor. In 1905, Sea Cliff got a second trolley, running from the Sea Cliff LIRR station to Glen Cove, and then in a loop around various areas of the city of Glen Cove. Back on the Huntington Railroad, construction was happening on a massive extension of the line, bringing it south to Amityville on the south shore of Long Island. Opening in August of 1909, this was Long Island's first cross-island trolley and the only one operated by a single company. Trolleys on these four routes and across Long Island thrived for the next decade, but by the end of World War I, automobile competition led many trolleys to shut down. In 1919, the LIRR sold off the Huntington Railroad to the Huntington Traction Company, who also shortened the line to only run from Halesite to Jericho Turnpike in South Huntington. Trolleys in Northport managed to survive until 1924, but without anyone else to operate the line and seeking to abandon all of their trolley service, the LIRR abandoned service on the Northport Traction Company in 1924. The two Nassau County trolleys were also struggling, and in November of 1924, the Glen Cove Railroad ceased operations. In Sea Cliff, the resort along Hempstead Harbor had all but ceased to exist by the end of the 19-teens, and while the village did start to become a suburban community, this was not enough to save the trolley, which shut down at the end of 1924. This left the only trolley on the North Shore as the Huntington Traction Company, but competition with buses meant that this line too was abandoned in 1927, marking the end of trolley service on the North Shore of Long Island. However, the remnants of these lines still are plentiful, so I'll see you in Huntington to start exploring there.
Hello, welcome to Huntington. I've come to the parking lot on this side to show you the station building. So, the building was built in 1909, so still during the trolley era. Not original. The original building was built in the 1880s. So this road, State 110, was the trolley line. It ran all the way down to Amityville. The Suffolk County Transit Route 1 is basically the trolley now. And yes, we will be taking it, provided it shows up, because it's currently not tracking. Yeah. Anyway, the station building is open but very crowded. That's what happens when you have very, very, very frequent service. I am curious who is taking the 100-point train from here. I'm guessing that's mostly to facilitate transfers. The ticket office appears to be closed, but this is the most crowded station building I think I've been in ever. So yeah, it is clearly used. There's the parking machine. Doesn't let you. Oh my god, that is truly a town logo. So yeah, Huntington Station is cool, but it also has trolley history. So see that big road, that route that, as I said, used to be the trolley, but after it was cut back from Amityville, it ended on Jericho Turnpike, which you may think, okay, that's not here. But as its first iteration was similar to the Northport trolley, just a shuttle from here at the station up to Halesite. So yeah, let's go get the Route 1. I do hope it shows up, because it's not tracking, and if it doesn't show up, then our backup route would be Hart, except that means we don't get to see the old trolley remnants in Halesite. So yeah, that would be a shame. Alrighty, let's go get on this this bus. I hope it shows up.
Alrighty, the bus did end up showing up. It just had a broken tracker. So yeah, that was fun. Suffolk County Transit, if you haven't fixed it since this video was filmed, please fix your bus tracker on bus 7017. Alright, I'll see you in Halesite.
Right, hello, welcome to the Halesite Firehouse. So why am I here? Well, because as you may be able to tell from here, this was the site of the trolley barn. So that historical poster reads Cross Island Trolley, 1898 to 1927, north terminus of the trolley from Amityville. Now, while the building was built in the 60s, it's not the original building. I'll put it up a picture now. I found this while I was researching on a Facebook group last night. The trolleys used to have 2 tracks coming in here. Then the surface track would come around, loop through here on the trolley loop, and there would also be connections into the car barn here. I just find that so cool, and I really love that Suffolk Transit still uses this as its loop, because it feels like it would be the easiest thing to just cut this route back to Huntington or use the traffic circle like Hart does, but they still use the trolley loop. They're still trolley history filmers, and that's cool. Yeah, so the infrastructure thing here was the trolley loop, which is still there, although granted you can drive it now. So yeah, if you're a car filmer and you're in Halesite, come drive the trolley loop. I don't know why you would, because if you're in a car, you're inherently not a trolley filmer. Alrighty, cool. Let's walk down to the Park Ave traffic circle and go get on a funny little minibus. Alright, well this stop and bench marks the Halesite terminus of Hart. Yeah, cool. I love how Hart is competing with SCT here, because both the H20 and the 1 go to Huntington Station. And also to the the H30 serves extra. This QR code looks interesting. I'm gonna scan it. Yeah, we're taking the 30.
Alright, so after a few minutes, a random minibus showed up, and I asked the driver, and that was indeed the H30, so I took that to Centerport at the Park Circle stop. I then walked along the shoulder of Route 25 in the snow, which truly was interesting. Then I walked up to Northport past some very New England-esque houses and just an area with a lot of New Englandy vibes. I then arrived in Northport, which has some very, very cool trolley remnants.
Alrighty, welcome to the Cow Harbor Park here in Northport. Now, what's the remnant here, you ask? There's nothing there, it's just a park. Oh, there's a lot here. These are the old trolley tracks, original to 1902, and they remain in the street, not only here, but also on the main street of this town. So, the trolley line, as you heard in the history, ran from what's now Northport Station to what was then called either East Northport or New Northport, up to the village of Northport, also known as Old Northport. And why did it do that? Well, because this town was the one that played nice with the LIRR together. The branch closed when the new main line opened, and the LIRR ran this trolley until 1924, when they said, yeah, no. But the trolley tracks, they're still here, which is just, can we just talk about how epic this is? This trolley was abandoned 101 years ago, and they kept the trolley tracks. Like, okay, pop off, and just, like, amazing. I mean, like, yeah, they're not perfect. Yes, if you actually look, it's just a rail embedded in. You couldn't run trains here anymore. And yes, there's some brakes, but like, okay, all of that aside, where are we? Media, Pennsylvania? This looks like Media, except the wires are missing. Like, I just find that great. I know I'm such a foamer for finding that great, but I am a proud trolley foamer. Also, this town looks really, really, really cute. I wonder if that's because of the trolley. Alright, I'm gonna attempt to try and get a good picture down Main Street. Yeah, this is the only remnant here, although I have heard that the old ride way exists, but we'd pass it on a bus if we do see it, so if it does exist. I'm gonna try and get a good picture, which may well be the thumbnail shot, but there are lots of cars, so that might not happen quite yet. We'll see. The bus is in 10 minutes.
Alright, so leaving Northport, I hopped on a Hart minibus, and we passed the old ride way, and then went to East Northport, which has the LLR station. But wait, there's something else in East Northport.
Hello, this is 5 months later from the rest of the video. It's May now, but I'm in East Northport again, and there's a little thing here about the trolleys that ran from here to Northport, of which you just saw the trolley tracks about. So they ran from 1902 to 1924. Yeah, if you want to see more about East Northport, stay subscribed, and in like 3 months, this will come out. Fun.
Alrighty, so if you want to see another video from this area, stay subscribed. Anyway, I then stayed on the minibus, which took me to the Walt Whitman shops. This area has a bunch of things named after him, because he was connected to this area of Long Island. I do find it mildly funny that they decided to name a massive shopping mall in the middle of the suburbs after a 19th century American poet, but, you know, you do you, Long Island. I then got on the N79 bus back into Nassau County to the town of Woodbury, where I got into the nice mini Syosset, which sadly is gone. It was discontinued on May 23rd. This video is coming at May 25th, which is kind of sad because it was very useful. I used it to get it up to East Norwich and then walk up to Oyster Bay, where I had some food and got on a train. Said train, of course, was on the Oyster Bay branch to Glen Cove, where I then decided to drive truly a bus route of all time.
Hello, we are on an Oyster Bay branch train at Oyster Bay Station. I hope you enjoyed that montage of stuff I did. It was a rather long diversion from Northport to here, but we're now here. We're on like the, what's this? There are like 3 peninsulas. They're more than 3, but they're 3 main ones. And this one I think is called Cow Neck. I could be wrong about that. It's Great Neck, and then the other two are called Something Neck, but I don't know what the other 2 are. Anyway, Oyster Bay, fun, delightful. We're gonna head from here to Glen Street, go get on another silly bus to take us to the 2 trolleys in the Glen Cove area. So, yeah, I'll see you at Glen Street.
Ride bus, you know what I'm talking about?
Alrighty, welcome to Glen Street Station. Why are we here? Well, essentially, there are 2 trolleys. There were 2 trolleys in the Glen Cove area. The first one, the one we're seeing first, is the Nassau County Railway, which doesn't have many remnants, but the right-of-way, the streets are entirely intact. So we're gonna walk the line. The issue is the only way to get out there is to take the Glen Cove Loop Shuttle bus from the Glen Cove Senior Center to Landing Road. So there goes the train. We're now going to walk 10 minutes to the Glen Cove Senior Center to get the Glen Cove Loop Shuttle bus to Landing Road, because that's the only way. That's the only transit out that way, and then we'll walk the line back. So yes, I'm actually using a silly minibus for a purpose. I could have gotten off the train at Sea Cliff, but I wanted a 40-minute minibus ride instead of a 15-minute one. So fun. It just 2:10. I'm still here. I don't see a bus. I don't know. I mean, I don't expect this to be on time, but, yeah. Alright, hello. I called them. I miraculously got through to someone who knew about the bus, and the bus is apparently just canceled for this week, unceremoniously, with no notice online. So that does mean that we won't be able to walk the full route of the Nassau County Railway trolley. I'm gonna see what my options are nice, because I don't think I can walk out there and back, but there is nice service in this town, so in theory I can take that, but It's just, the bus just got canceled, like, unceremoniously, for a week, with no info about that online. And I also called them earlier today, and they said that, yeah, the bus picks up at the senior center, and didn't say a thing about the fact that it isn't running this week. I'm sorry, Glen Cove, what the actual f***? Yeah, you can't run a bus service and say, oh, sorry, it's canceled. Like, come on, Jesus. All right, well, I need to now find a way to salvage my plan, so I guess I'll go into downtown Glen Cove and sort out something.
Well, after that debacle, I did sort out something, and that something was just not seeing the Glen Cove Railroad trolley, instead taking a nice bus to Sea Cliff and seeing the Sea Cliff Trolley. But before that, I just wanted to talk about, first, how awful this route is. It's like a deviatory mess of a loop around a city that already has nice service, and it apparently just gets randomly canceled at random times for weeks for reasons. So, yeah, that might be why it only gets 4,847 riders per year, which is very low. And by the way, if you want a list of the ridership of every single transit route in the New York City area, I made a spreadsheet for that, link in the description. But yeah, it's not a very good bus, and it is seemingly only catering to seniors who will call and make sure it's not canceled that whole week. See you in Sea Cliff.
This is 12th Avenue in Sea Cliff, New York. This was the site of the Nassau County Railway. And there's Sea Cliff Trolley, a trolley that ran from the Sea Cliff train station down there, down this street to the coast, where a funicular existed, of which remnants still exist, to bring passengers down to the ocean. And yeah, it was one of many trolleys on Long Island's North Shore, and this is the old rideway, now just a road. But somewhere under this pavement rails probably still exist.
Alright, so I filmed like 15 minutes of footage trying to discern exactly what the trolley did here in Sea Cliff. And as best I was able to discern, and as best I am currently able to discern, this is what it did. So, after 12th Ave finished, it didn't continue down 12th Ave. I think that part was too steep. Instead, it turned right on Prospect Ave, went up Prospect Ave, and ended between 120 and 110 Prospect Ave, and that is where the funicular started. And I'm fairly sure that it actually ended in the middle of the street. I'm not certain about that, because there are no pictures of this end of the line, but if you know, please leave a comment. I just don't see a way that it could have turned off street, since there are houses there, and the funicular station would have also been there. So that is what I think the terminus was like. If you know more info, please leave a comment, and I'll see you down on Cliff Way, where we can see the funicular remnants.
Hello, we're on Cliff Way. That's the beach. That's the skyline of New Rochelle. No one's on the beach in the 20-degree weather, but there used to be a Victorian hotel here. And as far as I can tell, I was actually correct about the old funicular, because the funicular, as far as is obvious, would have ended roughly where I'm standing now. And see that big, like, chunk of concrete in the woods? I think that was a support, meaning it ended between the, like, really old house and the more modern house, which is exactly what I thought it did, up there. So it essentially went right into this person's driveway that I'm standing in. I'll go up here, and it probably ended right here. So that would mean that the trolley probably just turned on Prospect Ave and ended there. Again, nothing is for certain. If I can find historical pictures while ending this that I didn't find while researching, I will put them up now. But otherwise, I think we can pretty safely assume that those, like, two big support structures were for the funicular. There's also a chance that that house up there used to be the funicular structure. I know that in Yonkers there's a funicular, or an abandoned funicular, that the top house is the structure, like the old station house. The top station house is now someone's residence house. But as far as I can tell, assuming that that's not the case, it would have come from there, or it could have been that was the intersection point. It was very short, funicular, but it probably came out here, probably right into near this person's driveway, and then the Victorian Hotel would have been right around here. Of course, it's long gone now. So yeah, that's a bit of investigative abandoned trolley filming. And yeah.
Alright, so with that investigative abandoned trolley foaming out of the way, I took the N21 down to Roslyn, and then I got another funny minibus, this time the Port Washington shuttle, up to Port Washington, and the train back to the city. So with those are the abandoned trolleys of the North Shore of Long Island. A very obscure video, but I'm a proud abandoned trolley foamer. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.